Minecraft castles have been a staple style of building ever since the start of the game, and personally one of my best and favorite styles of building. Today I will be showing you with every single step along the way how to build your very own castle from scratch that is totally original to you. So we're going to be covering every single step in the most helpful way possible to build your own castles from scratch, and I'm going to be building one right along with you. And so the first step towards that we're going to take is finding inspiration and finding pictures that are going to help us decide what kind of castle we want to make. And here's a few examples of castles that I was looking at when I was getting inspiration. You can find this stuff anywhere, whether it's Pinterest, Google Images, or anything, maybe a video game. I have a full video on getting inspiration you can go check out. There's probably a card at the top of the screen right now, but once you have your inspiration, maybe do a drawing. I love to draw my castles before I do them, so let's head over into the world and begin laying out our inspiration. So here we begin the 2D process, and the first thing I always like to lay out is my front gates, where the castle is going to be seen from the very front. And what I do next is usually the outer walls, and the outer walls consist of normal medieval walls running into different styles of buildings. For example, right here, you're going to see me do kind of a huge building on that right hand side, and I have plans for that in my head already from different inspiration sources, so I know what that's going to look like. So in a 2D version, I know it's a big box, and you'll see here in a second that I lay another circle in the middle. Now this is my strategy. I know I want a tower on top of that building, so I'll put it in the box in a different color so that when I have to line something else up with that tower, I will be able to do that. I continue the walls onto the other side and then start some other shapes, some more towers and whatnot. Always, guys, do the outside of the castle first and work your way inward, and then when you're done you can go back to the outside to touch it up. Now I'm going for a very simple castle shape here, and you'll see I'm going all the way around to the back and making another simple shape in the back. In the middle is where it starts to get a little more complicated. And if you want to build this exact castle with me or just see it, there's a world download for this in my description. Now I will begin the center part of the castle with another set of gates and walls on the inside of our original outer walls. Then I like to do my huge thing in the middle. This one is going to be a huge box with roofs and different pieces coming out of it, but you have to start with the general shape first, guys. And you'll see here I line up another piece in the middle that's going to go on top, and I want a tower in the middle to line up with my tower on the right, and you'll see now I'll be able to have them line up so I can possibly have a bridge go between them. A third tower is going to go on the left side of our centerpiece, and we'll add in some extra walls here just to finish it off. And now with the basic 2D shape done, the hard part is somewhat out of the way. Now we need to select a block palette. For me, my first color is my base color. I'm going to be using this gradient right here to build up the base colors of my castle. I would suggest you select a base color as well. Stone is always a good way to go for this. And the next thing I like to select is my other detailing blocks. And right here you're going to see some spruce, some acacia, and some diorite to highlight the rest of it. Finally, my roof color is going to be some lime and green terracotta. Make sure your roof is somewhat more interesting than the rest of it. And now it's time for you to move to step 3, which is going to be building up the 3D shape of your build. Only worry about the shape, don't do any detailing, just make the shape look correct and make adjustments as you go. This process could be done using the same color concrete as you did for your 2D layout, or you could be using your block palette for this. Now you'll see me using the colors because I have world edit and I'm in creative mode. If this is survival, I would suggest using your block palette. But basically we're going to build up the 2D shape here of all of the stuff that we have constructed on the base, and even build up the towers the way we want them to look so that we can replace all of these blocks with our block palette. Finally, guys, I just want to say, the goal of this is to get your basic shape. You're not going to do any detailing or anything too in-depth. Just get the basic shape of what you want your castle to look like. And it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to go back later and change them all. So now, let's jump into the rest of this time lapse and build up the rest of this castle. And now we have a beautiful visual of what your castle is going to look like, and now is the time to make changes. If you need another tower somewhere, or you need to adjust the height of something, or the way one roof looks or anything, now is the time to do that, because as you could have guessed, the next step is going to be replacing these blocks with our palette. The way you want to do this is take your base color, your stone, whatever you're using as your base color, and start implementing that in. You'll see me doing that right here, and then you'll see me using the darker colors at the bottom. That right down there is cyan terracotta and gray concrete, and I'm using them at the bottom as a darker color to kind of contrast the lighter stone. And you'll see me doing my roof also out of green, and I'm using World Edit to do this and just transforming them. Another trick you can do when implementing your block palette, as you can see on the tower on the right, I start with the dark color at the bottom and slowly get lighter. And even in the middle there, you see at the very top, I'm using white concrete and diorite at the very top to make it even lighter. Finally, I'm just going to add a few more smaller buildings, and I may add even more of those as we go along. And the last step for me is filling in all these empty holes on the walkways and the tops of the towers with whatever, for me, this is spruce wood. So there we go, a fully filled in 3D castle. And now the hardest part comes, and this is the detailing. And now we have arrived at the final step of our castle process, and that is the detailing. I would suggest doing this piece by piece. As you can see, I start with the entrance and do both the towers first, and then I move on to the smaller walls. And I'll show you some examples of how I'm doing the detailing. Right here you can see some of the walls and indents I put into the towers, or even things like the roof will contain more detailing. As you can see here, we're going to have mossy cobblestone, and then even the front gates, indent the walls in, pull out walls, put in windows, and all sorts of spiky pieces. Castles normally have that, and if you're stuck, make sure to look up ideas for yourself or check out my detailing video I have on my YouTube channel about detailing houses. And as you can see here, a lot of it is trial and error. Just add outlines, push walls back, add depth, add windows, add different pieces of stairs and walls, and eventually you'll create something amazing. So let's enjoy the rest of this time lapse. And with that, I have completed my castle, and hopefully you were able to use every piece of this video to create your own incredible castle. And let's go over the things we did. Inspiration, 2D layout, 3D shape, block palette, and detailing. Now follow these steps every time you want to build a castle or any big mega structure, and take a picture right now so you can remember the steps in the castle building process. And if you've made it this far, thank you so much. And if you make a castle, send it to me on my Instagram or join my community Discord and send it in there, and we can all talk about it together. So thank you so much. And if you've made it this far, I hope you don't mind going down there and leaving a like and a comment, and even subscribing if you're not, because I have more videos like this coming very soon. And remember, if you want to see this castle for yourself or even look at some of the details on it, the World download is in the description, along with the link to the Discord and all of my other social medias. And this video took me a very long time to make, as you could imagine. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.